it does beg the question, was it all a waste in the end?
That, of course, is the open question, Pete, but you need to remember that the primary purpose for our intervention originally in Afghanistan was to stop that country remaining a safe haven and a breeding ground, a training camp for terrorists who will do bad things right around the country, including to Australians. So it was about keeping Australians safe, and that mission was successful. For 20 years now, we've avoided attacks on Australians coming out of Afghanistan. We did rid that country of Al-Qaeda and the like, those people hosting those training camps, and that's been a good thing. And I think it's important today to continue to pay tribute to our people in uniform who did everything which was asked of them and more. 41 of them, of course, gave their life to their country, and we should continue to pay tribute to them today. Is Afghanistan a better place for the intervention? Well, after the primary mission, the coalition stuck around, trying to build a democracy, trying to build economic capacity, trying to build a health system, an education system in particular, so that women could be educated for the first time. We trained the Afghan National Army and the Afghan National Police, trying to ensure that the country could live on as a democracy infinitum. But on that front, we were hopelessly unsuccessful, and that is a great tragedy. And as a result, Afghanistan remains a tragic place today.
Yeah, I mean, you served the role as Defence Minister, Joel, like so many others in this 20-year war. There's been 4 presidents, I believe. Did you think it would end like this, and did you think that it would end so fast?
Well, it's unsurprising. It is surprising it happened so fast, but it was inevitable from the point at which the Americans announced their intention to withdraw. The Taliban was always going to be on the march. The swiftness of it has surprised, I think, everyone. But in effect, what's happened there, Pete, is that the Afghan National Army has basically acquiesced and just rolled over and allowed the inevitable to flow. In fact, many, it's reported, have been, in fact, joining the Taliban along the way. So surprising, but it was inevitable. I, of course, have been in that presidential palace for meetings with the president, and it's a confronting thing to see today. The question now, of course, is what sort of a country is Afghanistan going to be under this new regime? Will it remain brutally murderous, or will it attempt to secure some level of support from the international community in the hope of, at some point, becoming part of the international community and abiding to some extent, at least, to international norms?
Do you believe it can now become a breeding ground for terrorism?
Well, I certainly hope not. And I feel somewhat confident that the Taliban, under new leadership now, of course, will learn from the very bad mistake of hosting Al-Qaeda and the like. It, of course, caused them no end of problems, 20 years out of power, and a brutal and protracted war. I hope that lesson has been learned. Again, as sceptical as we might be about what is ahead, we live in hope that, Afghanistan will be desperate for foreign aid, for example. It will be desperate for recognition in the international community. And surely must have learned that to secure those things, it needs to come some way towards meeting international expectations.
Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, has said overnight that no one should bilaterally recognise the Taliban. The Prime Minister on the program a short time ago said that he doesn't agree with that, but do you?
Well, I think we need to be very cautious about that and think that through. We've seen relatively peaceful situation in Kabul. I might sound naive, but that might be a sign or something that might give us confidence that we will see a slightly different Taliban this time around under Akhundzada. We shall wait and see, but I don't think anyone should be jumping in there on either side of that argument. I think we should let this thing roll on for a few days at least yet before making any decisions about where the international community should go on this issue at this stage.
Okay. Labor MP and former Defence Minister Joel Fitzgibbon, appreciate your thoughts this morning. We'll talk to you again soon.
A pleasure, Pete.